Hey, what's up? Just saying, if I go suddenly for any reason, I'm having internet problems right now. So, for a few minutes, I'm just gonna make sure the internet's okay. Excuse me, before I go on with the video. Not like I have much actually planned for the video because I'm just on here because I'm really bored right now. But I got one question and I thought we could research it together because I had a couple suggestions, but I really didn't have anything off the top of my head. Hey, what's going on? Answering your question. What's a good amplifier for under $2,000? I'm gonna go over a few with you. I just have to research them on my computer. So, we got my Google up right here. We're just gonna search guitar amplifiers. And once I research a couple, I'm sure I'll remember a bunch more, and I'll know what exactly to suggest. You said the MT-15 goes from quiet to loud too quickly, so that's a good deal, but I understand. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I've always wanted one. You should look at an Angle amp. Either a Fireball 25 or a Fireball 100 or a Powerball 2. Let me see how much a Powerball 2 is. Alright, not the Powerball 2 because that's 2,500, but the Fireballs, definitely look into those. So, the limit that we have for guitar amplifiers is $2,000. And I'm depending if you need a boost pedal or an overdrive to go with it, I might go a bit lower for a few, but 2,000 is going to be the absolute limit. The Marshall DSL 20 watt, that's only $800. You could get an overdrive or a boost to go with that, and it sounds really great for the price. Ooh, there's so many amps. I'm gonna get gear addiction syndrome so quickly just by doing this. I haven't had it for a while, so bring it on. Oh, wow. I didn't think of that either. I thought of the EVH heads, but the Stealth. Ooh. The 50 watt Stealth might be really nice. They have the 100 watt is 2,500 also, but the 50 watt is 1,500. I suggested to you before the Iconic for $1,000. You could get an overdrive or boost with that. Yeah. If you're watching, just let me know. Do you have any preferred type of amplifier companies that you rather aim towards, or are you an open book when it comes to amplifiers? Because if you're into a certain kind, I could definitely narrow my search down to that. Oh, how I wish any of us could afford a Soldano right now. Alright, an open book? That makes things very easy. Anything under $2,000, I'll just suggest. Alright, the Freeman JJ. Jerry Cantrell signature. That's only 1,700. It looks like it's one channel. Sorry, not one channel. It looks like it has one EQ section. And... Is there an effects loop on this? Alright, and there's an effects loop. And it comes with a foot switch, apparently. If you're really into saving some money, I would recommend getting the Orange Super Crush 100 for only $500. I know it sounds cheap, but it's supposed to replicate the Orange Rock Reverb, which is their highly sought after tube amp. And it doesn't use any tubes, it's all solid state, but the representation of the tubes section in the amplifier is phenomenal. Marshall DSL 100. Same thing as the 20 watt, but 100 watts. I've heard of Ignitor before, but they aren't the best in my opinion. But just know that's the company, Ignitor. The Hughes and Kettner line. I'm looking at the Grandmeister right now, the 40 watt for $1,500. Comes with an effects loop and a couple EQ sections. You could just say, fucking get a Seymour Duncan Power Stage. Just get one of these and hook up whatever pedal you find necessary to it. I'm just kidding. I know you're looking for an amp, but I'm just making a joke. Metal. I'm gonna go up to page 5. I'm on page 2 right now. I just left page 1, but there's like 20 pages. I could do this like a few episodes long if I want to. Oh, that just came to market. That would be a really good buy if you want the Mesa Dual Rectifier Badlander 25. It's just like the 100 watt Badlander. It doesn't have as much headroom, but it sounds so good. So creamy to my ears. Let's click on that just so we could... Ooh, the black faceplate is so sexy on it. Has an effects loop, a serial effects loop. Mine has parallel, which is kind of a pain, but it has an effects loop. But this has a serial effects loop, which is great. And let me double check. What kind of tubes? I know it doesn't matter too much about what kind of tubes, but some people like to know. Oh, it has a cabinet simulator built into it as well. Not 2 notes, but their own brand. A cab clone, probably. That was Mesa. Yep. Built-in cab clone. I just want to know the tubes. EL84s. 2 of them. Alright. That would be a really good buy. Honestly, I would buy that right now if I could. I just don't have the money. Oh yeah, pause from this real quick. I had horrible luck with my new Flying V having a broken neck when I bought it when I bought it and received it and unboxed it. So I returned it, I got my money back. But I found another guitar and they don't even make them anymore. So I had to jump on it because the guitar looks so sexy. Except the guitar comes with a sustainer in it. So there's a chance I might do an overhaul project where I take out all the electronics and replace it with pickups and everything that I like. But I'm not going to reveal what guitar it is yet because I got it shipped really quickly to me. Because I'm antsy. I waited for a guitar for like a week. Then it got delayed. Then I finally got it and the neck was broken. I didn't even get to play it. Like, sorry for being a little antsy for wanting a new guitar right now. But it was love at first sight. There's a guy I watched that uses one, and when he said when he said they don't make them anymore, I was so disappointed. But I saw that earlier, and I just immediately jumped on it. But anyways, back to the amplifiers. No, it wasn't a Schecter. It's a brand they don't make anymore. I'll admit, I will tell you the brand. Fernandez. The brand is called Fernandez. I won't tell you what model. But it fits my personality perfectly. Round, but pointy. But yeah, for amplifiers, we have the classic PV6505 for $12.99. This comes loaded with 12AX7s, 5 of them, and 4 6L6 GCs. I know it's not a block letter or anything like that, but it sounds really good for what it is. Pretty much, if you heard the stories, they're just supposed to replicate a 5150 with different tubes because they can't use the same tubes as they did. Otherwise, they could get sued for basically making the same model. So they changed it up, made it their own. But it sounds exactly the same. It works exactly the same. It has one EQ section, but it has a couple different channels. Alright. Alright, here's what I was talking about. Here's an Engel Fireball 100. They recently came out. They re-released these recently. They made them, they stopped making them, then they started making them again. But anyways, this is $1,900. It comes with an effects loop. One channel, one EQ, but you're able to get it really pristine clean if you dial it in the right way. Low gain. It's not the cleanest like a Fender, but they're known for having cleans that are specifically voiced for themselves. Oh, I actually have one of these. I sold it, but it's a Rev G20. I had this exact one, the purple edition. It's not normally $1,400. It's normally like $1,200, $1,300, but because the purple model you can only get on Sweetwater, they just bumped up the price because it's limited. But anyways, it's 20 watts. It has one EQ section. But thing is, it has an aggression switch that goes between 3 different types of aggressions. I like to go most aggressive, obviously, knowing me. But 2 channels, 3 aggressions on each channel. It has a pre-post button. I forget what that does, but you could store certain EQ setups that you create into the amp, so you could go right back to it. And it has virtual cabinets loaded into it, and 2 notes as well. I need to get a new amp. It's been a while since I got a new amp. That should be the next thing I get before I get a new guitar. But back to what I was saying, real quick. It has spots for 6 virtual cabinets because it has 2 notes embedded in it. So you could plug it into your computer and use it virtually. And it's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to amplifiers. Because I like to have a lo-fi cabinet. I like to have a aggressive cabinet, one that's really smooth and clean and sparkly. And the other 3 are just whatever I'm in the mood for at that point. So that was the Rev G20. Highly recommended. I'm not gonna name the mini heads because those go from quiet to loud, you say. I'll only suggest a few. Like the Engel Iron Ball special edition they have. Once again, it's 1 EQ channel, but it has so many options that you could tweak on it. Like, it has 8 different voicings you could go to with switches. Like, it has a row of knobs, then it has 4 switches, and under it has 4 more switches that you could control everything with. Let's see now. Store, MVP, reverb, delay, gain boost, clean lead, effects loop, and noise gate. So it does have a lot of options. Thing is, a lot of that you normally control from the back of the amp, like the noise gate or the effects loop, or there's a lot of boosts that you engage from the back of the amp, and a lot of the storage you do on the back of the amp. But they put it right up front for this, and it sounds as good as it is handy. Like, there are a lot of handy amplifiers out there that I just can't afford to get, but I wish I could. Page 3. Alright. One of the amps, let me double... Of course it wouldn't be right here. I'll search it real quick. Horrible typing. Oh, for $19.99. This is also a highly recommended amp by me, is the Peavey Invective. Because it's got built-in boost, it's got a noise gate, it's just a revoiced slightly 5150. It uses the same circuit and everything. But the one thing I will say, if you want to engage the boost from the front of the amp, you need to use the foot switch. Because that's just the way they made it. It's one of the flaws, but it's 120 watts. I believe it has 2 different EQ sections. Oh, that's a funky looking EQ section. It definitely has 2 or 3, but I think it has 3. A clean, and then the 2 crunch and lead channels look very peculiar. That's what I'll say. Peculiar. But yeah. You could go to half power, so 60 watts. Effects loop, foot controller, MIDI. I don't use MIDI myself. I know some people love MIDI. I'm just gonna throw that out there that it has MIDI. But yeah, I was gonna suggest a mini head, but so the full size 120 watt is $2,000, and the mini head, the PV Invective mini head, is $800. And either one I would recommend. A Mesa Boogie Mark V. Now these are tricky to dial in. You kind of need some experience, but they sound really great. Other than that, like, I wouldn't recommend it at the top of my list, but I'm not recommending it. I recommend it. Just I would recommend other amps before that one. Oh, that looks so cool. A Soldano with a purple encasing. Ooh, purple's my favorite color. You're trying to get into my wallet. You're gonna succeed at this point. $3,000. I don't have that money. Who can I take it from? Not really. I wouldn't borrow money that isn't mine just for a guitar amplifier. I wish life worked that way. You could just walk up to somebody, hey, give me some money so I could get something I like, and they just hand it to you. I can dream. Like, the Line 6 Mark V, I'm not gonna recommend, but I heard, and I think I saw a video, that they have gotten a lot better since they released Spiders. Because basically the EQ was not an EQ section. So it was basically like using an EQ you would use in your DAW. I use Reaper, so Reaper EQ, it's like you change the frequencies but not the actual mids. Like, it's hard to explain. It's not affecting the mids like as the mids. It's affecting the mids as the frequency, and it changes the frequency and not the highering and lowering the mids. That's the best way I could describe it. I'll think of another way to explain it. I'll make a video explaining that if that's something you want to hear. But as of right now, I just can't articulate the words to put together. But yeah, it uses MIDI. Yeah. I have a MIDI controller. I never figured out how to use it though. This is the MIDI Commander. It even says MIDI Commander on it. Right there, MIDI Commander. But pretty much, you're supposed to be able to plug this into the back of an amp and just use it as a foot switch. But I'm too stupid to figure out how to program this thing, so I never got a chance to use it. Oh, this is what the Rev G20 normally looks like. It's normally black with a black with a purple logo. Am I colorblind, or am I just a window licker tonight? It's not tonight, it's all the time. You lick windows for a living. Page 4. Alright. I don't know very many Victory amps. This is off the top of my head, I just remembered. But if you could find one, because it is in your price range, look at a Victory Super Kraken. It's similar to the Kraken pedal amplifier that I had, what I used to call the 180 watt box. I just saw one of the, actually, here it is. This is what I used to have. And this is a Victory Kraken, but it's a 180 watt amplifier pedal. And you're supposed to use it as a pedal, but it's just got the circuits and everything, like a solid state amplifier and a couple small tubes in it, so that it has a little bit of tube sparkle. But it just never hit home for me. Excuse me. I felt like there could be a lot more tube presence. Excuse me again. I felt like there could be a lot more tube presence in the voicing itself. I think the Super Kraken sounds great. It would cost like $1,400, $1,500, I believe. I could be wrong, but last time I checked, I believe that's what I remember. Yeah, I'm skipping over all the Black Star amps and Bugera amps because Black Star, I've never had a good opinion about Black Star. Like, they've always had a bad reputation whenever I heard about them, so they never sat well with me. I'm not saying they're bad amps, but to me, I just don't know of anything that I can recommend personally. And I don't want to recommend anything that I don't know any knowledge about, because if it turns out to be horrible, you can come back at me and be like, I just wasted my money on this amp, you said it was awesome. That's the biggest piece of shit I ever heard. And Bugera, they sound pretty good. They're cheaper, like their actual amplifiers are cheaper amplifiers, but they have a lot of technical issues, like they like to blow up in some cases. And I don't want to put anyone in harm's way. Bogner. Nope. Diesel. Too expensive. Besides, the frequencies are not exactly pleasant to my ear. Morgan. I can't say good or bad because I honestly forget everything about Morgan amps. I've had very little experience with them. Dr. Z-Cast, and what was the other one? Dr. Z, that just must be the brand. Dr. Z. Never heard of them before, but I'm seeing a few amplifiers by them, a few different ones, and I'm getting kind of curious to go on YouTube and look up how they sound. The past couple pages are kind of crap when it comes to fighting amplifiers, so I'm going to go to 7 pages. Do you use any amp sims? I just got the Auto 11 and I really like it. I love amp sims, but I also love actual tube amps. So I'm just torn between the few actual tube amps I have because the sound is so incredible. But I have the option of so many more different sounds with amp sims, but they don't sound quite as good. Probably because my computer speakers are absolute trash. I got them both for like $100. But they've been doing the job, so And I'm not saying the amp sims sound bad. I'm just saying they probably sound better if I had better stuff. But yeah, let me. Alright. Let me see a couple of the amp sims I do have. Amped Roots, Amped ML5, the Neural DSP Omega Granifier. Plus, I have the actual thing. I literally bought my actual Omega Granifier amp. Then they released the plugin like a few days later. I'm like, come on! The PRS Archon, that's really good for like really cheap. I know I have the Fort Nameless. Jason Richardson by Toneforge. Not my favorite anymore. I have the Parallax for bass. Archetype of Bossy. Grind Machine. Ignite Emissary. Then a bunch of the alright. PRS Dallas, PRS V9, RVXX. That's a Rev G20 amp sim. It was only like $20-$40 or something like that. Definitely worth it. The PV Revalver, which is an amp suite with all the PV amps digitalized. Except that was back in the day, so digitalized is very loose. The Misha Mansour by Toneforge. The TSC X50, which is supposed to be a PV6505 or something like that replication. And I literally have this VST called Tube Amp. But pretty much you're supposed to use it with an amp sim that doesn't sound all that interesting. The La Boga or the Mr. Hector or something like that. And if you put the if you put the tube amp on after, it gives it some tube sparkle because it's not an amp sim. It's just basically a digital tube sparkler that you add to your plugins. And ever heard of PVXXL? Oh yes, the guy Kyle Bull I watch uses one all the time. Yeah, PVXXL. Let's see if we can find that. You were just, or someone was asking about amp sims real quick, so I thought we'd take a little break, and we'll go back. PVXXL. Had to go to Google because you can't get them new anymore. Yeah, it's like $300 or something used. 500, 600 used in good condition. The first one I saw was 300, so sorry about that. But yeah. The PVX XLs are fantastic. Especially for... It's one of those sleeper amps that sounds a lot better than what you pay for. Like, it shoots above its weight class is all I'm saying. Yeah, you didn't derail the topic. You actually got me re-railed back on topic, if anything. Alright, but anyways. Bugera, Diesel, EV, what one is that? 5150 black for $2,000 is a 100-watt head. It has, it looks like 2 or 3 EQ sections. That's a lot of knobs, Jesus Christ. I'm hoping those are 3 sections put into one strip. Because if that's all one EQ section, damn! Alright, and it comes with effects loop, and it's serial, which is great. And page number 7. Yeah, back here is mostly... Oh, they sound pretty good. Don't get turned off by it just because of the name, but the Mesa Boogie Rectoverb sounds really, really, really good. And there's a 25-watt version for $1,700. They do a video on Kyle Bull's channel, and he revisits the Rectoverb because he got a Rectoverb as his first rectifier ever, and he didn't know how to dial him in at all because it was his first one and he didn't know any of the tricks, so it sounded horrible. Like, the low end was too much, he couldn't control the mids, the treble, the top end wasn't doing anything for him. So he sold it a couple months later. But his channel's been up for a couple of years now, and he recently got another one to try again because he recently fell in love with Mesa Boogie amps. Sorry, Mesa amps. Both rectifiers, mostly rectifiers, but also the marks. But point is, he tried to dial it in, and it sounded so good. It sounded just like my dual rectifier. Has an effects loop, 2 EQ channels, has reverb or tremolo, no, Rectoverb reverb, has reverb built in. Oh, that looks, ooh, I kind of like that. That's sitting with me. It's a mini rectifier. I know it's mini, but the faceplate is red. Like, I wanted a black faceplate for my dual rectifier, but I don't quite know how to obtain one right now. Oh, Rivera Knucklehead 55 watt. That, I know it's $3,200, but if you ever have a chance to play through Rivera, take that opportunity, because it's an experience you're never gonna forget. Yeah, at this point, everything's getting to $2,500 to $3,000. So, can I recommend a couple of the other amplifiers I'm thinking of? Oh. Alright, this is an amplifier I highly recommend too. The Synergy 50 watt 4-channel tube head. Because with this amp, you get little, you have the amplifier with the power section. Like, it has the tubes and the circuits and everything, that's all the same, but you could get preamp modules, like little boxes basically, that go into amplifier, and you could have a Freeman BE, you could have a tabletop amplifier, you could have a IICP2 channel preamp, you could have an SLO, you could have a Freya Deliverance, Powerball 2 channel. The list goes on. The Bogner Ecstasy, a Freya Pitbull, a Morgan AC. Like, there's so many channels that you could put into that one amplifier. That is absurd. If you want to save some more money, you could get the 30 watt, the 3 channel for $1,300, and it'll do exactly the same thing. And if you really are interested in just having the modules and not a tube section or anything, they make literally just a box to slide the module in, and you could get sound. I actually, let me see if I can find it. I got, not this one. I had a rack mount at one point. Is this it? Yes, this is it. I had this rack mount where you could put 2 modules in at the same time. It has a couple tubes, like, underneath in the back right here. You can see the corner of one, like, right there. But couldn't zoom in anymore, but pretty much this rack mount was only like, oh, they went up in price because I got the rack mount for $800. Oh, because it comes with 2 modules. The rack mount is only like $800. But depending on what modules you get with it will increase the price some more. But it all depends on the module you get. I love how the Steve Vai module is green. Huh, I'm curious. Nope. I wasn't sure if you could put the modules in the combo amps that they make or not. That would be really nifty. Wait. I don't want to watch your video. I want my question answered. Well, they're selling this combo amp with a module and a foot switch. It's $1,800. I know it's only a combo, but it still has the same circuitry as the actual amp, and you can use it comes with a module. So I'm assuming you could use modules in it, because otherwise, why would they give you one? In my opinion. Oh, I know one. Alright, this is called the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Iridium. It's a pedal amplifier. Like, it lays on the floor like a pedal, but it's legit amplifier, just like my Kraken I had. It comes with a tube, a nano tube. I don't know if you can see what I'm zooming in right there, but pretty much it has a tube built into the circuit to give it the tube sparkliness, even though it's a solid state amplifier. It sounds really good though. I almost bought one of these before I got my Grandifier. Has built-in reverb, as classic, vintage, modern, and clean. Excuse me. As 3 channels, a built-in boost. Can I get a view of the side there? An effects loop. There's other side, please. There it is. On the side of the amplifier foot pedal. I don't know what to call them. Foot amps. That's just what I'm gonna call them now. Foot amps. But you can control the boost, the tone, the volume of each mode. You could change the volume and tone in the modern mode, the classic mode. You could change the tone in the clean mode. And you could adjust the boost to all the channels right above it. You could change between parallel and series effects loop. And the noise gate, you could have it in soft mode or metal mode. Or you could just shut it off if you have your own effects loop. But that's the last amp I'm going to suggest for right now. They would make an amp 1 headphone. Yes! That would be so sick. If they made an amp 1 head. Oh. Like, they did the same thing with the Rev 20 watt amps. Where they have the amp 1 Iridium, but they also have the amp 1 Mercury, which is just a clean channel version. And it's a pedal platform. So it's meant to take pedals real well and get your tone from those instead of having a built-in distortion and everything. So if you're into that, I recommend looking at the Rev D20, not the Rev G20. But just because I'm having fun looking at things right now, because I suggested getting a couple pedals, I'm gonna look at a couple pedals right now. Accessories? Nope. Guitars. Amps, pedals, and effects. So I'm only gonna go through a few overdrives, preamps, and boosts, and a couple noise gates. Because those are what are gonna be most important when you're first looking at pedals. So something I heard really good reviews and really good videos and tones out of is the Soldano Super Lead overdrive pedal. What else can you get on Sweetwater? Once again, I'm only going to go to page 5. If you're looking for versatility, I had one before, the JHS Bonsai 9-way Screamer style overdrive. It's basically an overdrive with 9 voicings of a tube screamer. The Earthquaker's Plumes. Rev G3. Yeah, when I was trying to think of things to do for a video, I was like, you know what, I'll do a few distortion pedals. Then I looked at everything. I don't have any distortion pedals. So, I wasn't expecting to hear a Joyo pedal being better than a JHS. That's good to know that those are good quality. There's a TS9 that comes with 3 patch cables for $116. They're probably worth about $100 if you could find it on their own, but tube screamers are always nice. Wow, Sweetwater really doesn't have many pedals, do they? Oh, I had this pedal before too. The Walrus Audio 5-state distortion pedal. 5 different distortions in one pedal. It's just as useful as the Walrus Audio overdrive they have, the 5-stage overdrive. It has a mammoth on the front though. Oh, here it is. Ta-da! The Swollen Pickle. That's a great name! The Swollen Pickle. Did I miss that? No, I just gotta search that. Oh my god. Oh, it's a fuzz pedal. Okay. Scoop switch, a crunch knob. Huh. Oh, cool. You can control the sustain with the knob. I wish they would actually do that on some distortion pedals. If you had no sustain and you could get like a take or have a sustain more. Oh, I have to move my table for a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, the only fuzz pedal I have is this Shroot Fuzz by Fuzzimp Effects. Like, something about pickles. Like, I don't know what it is, but something about pickles just connects with me. Like, I love jokes about pickles. Like, for Christmas, I got my puppy a giant stuffed pickle with a Santa hat on it, and I named it Pickle, and because it was Christmas, I wanted to name it Saint Nick, but it was a pickle, and I love Pickle Rick, so I was like, hey, I'll just call it Pickle Nick, and I made it its own OnlyFans page and everything because I was that bored. But yeah, I'll go over a couple of the pedals. Yeah, a couple of pedals I'm thinking of. Because a company I tried out recently and I can't recommend enough is... I have the name right here. Let me get it right. What is it? Leechlim. Yeah, either way, the company is called Leechlim Audio. And they have a bunch of pedals. Like, the Key and Gate is a fantastic noise gate. It's one I have to try out, but everything I see about it is, like, so good. You know what? You're gonna witness me order a couple of pedals. I'll get the preamp pedal. I have the overdrive. I have a cock blocker noise gate, so I don't need another noise gate as badly as I wanted. Another reason I recommend this noise gate is because it has one knob on it. That's all. Yeah, the Shroop Fuzz. I saw that and I died laughing. I also have the Scranton Screamer with Michael Scott in the front holding a Dundee. And thing is, these pedals sound great too. I recommend getting those pedals. Like, if you're into like the nostalgia of The Office and everything. I just didn't put them on the list because other pedals do sound better. Two in the cart. No. One. Thank you. I only want one. 199 euros. What is your email? Almost say it out loud for all to know. Matt. Alright, they want a PayPal, and I don't want to sit here and try and remember my password for that because it'll take forever. Like, how did I get this pedal then? Because I don't have a PayPal. They must have just changed it. Oh, there we go. Just gonna put that there so no one knows my card information. That would be horrible if everyone started buying everything with my credit card. Buying everything for everyone. There we go. I just got a new pedal. And I'm gonna make a new video in the future pretty soon, apparently. But there were a couple amplifiers I wanted to look up, like Dr. Z. Um,
Of a 12AX7 valve in V1. Various other Z products do it too.
I'll find out all the information on the site. I just want to know how it sounds.
Or is it just...
We're only here for the metal, right? Oh. I didn't mean to push you over a microphone. You were holding my guitar up.
The EMS features a specially designed 212 cab.
I can already tell that has more of a classic vibe to it, and I'm not quite into that. I'm not saying it's a bad tone or anything, but it's not what I normally look for. But this is a different amplifier.
What I'm gonna tell you, did do a co-op. My friend, this is the guy I trust.
Your accent, it already tells me everything I need to know, but I'm gonna listen in case I'm wrong.
Anything that's kind of single coil, so I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, once again, it just might be voiced for more classic vibes or something like that. Probably just not the company for me. No big deal. Orange. Marshall. Like, was there anything that I could not remember? What is it, Morgan or something like that? Morgan amps? I just need to find one so I know what they're called. Did I skip over it? Nope. I probably just didn't reach it yet. I don't need to find the mass in them. I just need... There we go. Morgan amps. Alright. What was the model? MVP 66.
Best light up M. And
Oh, that's cool. That illuminates.
Let's leave it here. We're already hearing it.
Yeah, it looks like Morgan's one of those companies that makes pedal platforms. Kyle, can you help me out? Are there any amplifiers I'm forgetting about? Driftwood, too expensive. Oh, for pedals, there's a new one that Glenn Fricker came out with. Oh. Yes, I scooped up a preamp distortion pedal so I could actually use my power stage for once with it, because I feel like it's been useless for the past couple months. But alright, I think Tosin Bossy uses it as a pedal platform. Yeah, actually that would make a lot of sense. But Tosin Bossy is a beast. I have Tosin Bossy Fishmans in my Schecter Damien Elite 7. But for pedals, one of the ones I highly recommend trying out, I want to get one myself, is the Northern Mauler that Glenn Fricker and Rev just created together. It's supposed to be like an HM1 mixed with Rev G3, basically. Basically, it's two halves, the HM1 and the G3, and then you can combine the two sounds together. The Soldano preamp, I already said that. Yeah, Crank's a pretty good one. Not my favorite, but they aren't bad. Like, I'm very specific when it comes to certain tones of my metal I like to listen to, so I'm never gonna say anything's horrible, but I will say that something's not for me. Ampeg. Alright. Ampeg. That's one I forgot about. Pedals, the Electric Eye Mug Killer. I'd recommend that. I forgot about that, and I even own one. It's sitting right up there right now. Oh my god. Are you talking about the pink box? The KSR Power Stage, I think, is one of the power stages I wanted to get and sell my power stage. Like, my power stage is fantastic. It's done nothing horribly wrong. But I like tube amps, and to get the tube sparkle would be phenomenal. But yeah, lucky you. Oh yeah, the Leaf Lamb going through that. Oh, that would be incredible. No, the Series preamp, that's another pedal I can recommend too. That's like the best preamp out there. It might be tied with the Leaf Lamb that I just got, but either way, it's out there as one of the best preamps you could get. Yeah, this guy's tried out so many different amplifiers, so many different pedals and guitars. It's ridiculous. He only started a couple of years ago. His whole entire basement is just filled with different types of amplifiers. Like, he could barely make videos because of how many he has. Oh, Hiwatt. I could recommend the company Hiwatt. I don't know how much the amps go for because I never looked for one, but I heard them play through one and they sound fantastic. Oh, yep, the Grindstein. That's a pedal that I recommend. I recommend the LCFR for an overdrive, because I used to have one. I sold it because I had too many overdrives, not because it was bad. The Marauder. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything I named so far is on this list, so yes. Do you see all the amps he has in this one picture? That's just what he's doing for the video. That's not all the amps he has. That's just for the video. Like, there's 8 right there. 9, 10 that I could see in the corner that aren't showing. Like, wow. Lucky guy. He spent his money wisely. Ugh. But yeah, those are all the amps I could show you or recommend. Yes, like, there are a couple things he says he wanted to try that I want to send him, but I don't know the best way to contact him, and I don't know if that'd be something he'd be into. Like, he's into 6 strings, but he's never tried a Jazzmaster baritone before. I have a 30-inch Jazzmaster baritone right here. And I'm curious if he'd be into trying it out. He just got a 7-string, so I have a couple 7 strings that I'd want to see if he'd be interested in trying out too. I understand the 7 strings aren't his thing, but it's content for him that he can make. But now that we're on the subject of guitars, I took out my Solar 6-string with the Floyd in the Sustainiac, and I'm gonna plug it into my amplifier and try it out for the first time in like ever. Please don't fall, phone. So this guitar is loaded with a Seymour Duncan Nazgul and obviously a Sustainiac, but it's loaded with a Nazgul. Oh, here it is. It just rolled across the room. I had to move none, and now I have to move everything. I didn't know guitar picks could roll that much. Yeah, honestly, it's the first white guitar I ever got, and oh, it's so hard to keep clean. Like, all the little specks of dust are It sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks so classy, but at what cost? Yeah, I'm having a lot of sentimental moments recently because what cap are you running through though? That one. It is loaded with DV77s and Hesu demons. And the reason why I've been playing with my Solar recently and my Lecutor Opus 6, the Telecaster, the white Telecaster I have, and I've been playing with my Solar G 1.6 and my 8-string. I've been playing, but not as much, but I have been playing all because I'm gonna sell them all. And I'm starting to get new guitars because I hit the point where I had a lot of great guitars. So many guitars that I didn't want to get rid of any. But so many new guitars came out and I had no reason to get them or get any new guitars. So I figured I might as well suck it up, cut sentimental ties with a couple of them and get a couple new ones and make some more memories with them. So that's where my new Fernandez came in. Sorry, that's where the Flying V came in before it broke. And then the Fernandez. Huh. Yeah. Like, thanks for being bummed. You don't have to, but I just kept that video up just to show people bad luck happens to everyone. I wasn't expecting that or anything. It was my first LED. Then I could get the 2 bolts out of the video after. Like, I've had horrible luck with guitars recently, but that's gonna happen to all people at some point. Do I have any Gorilla Snot? Gorilla Snot. Da 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 da. Banana phone. Da 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 da. Oh, I can't play it now. It's my favorite song. Oh. Whoa, that's out of tune. Yeah, out of everything, this is my favorite part of the riff. Just that. I know the opening to oh, I don't know how to actually play it, but I think I learned the opening to a Slipknot song recently. I forget which one. I think it's Wait and Bleed. Staple shut, claustrophobic, Catastrophic. Not Pulse of the Maggots. Like, if anyone heard me sing that one part, they know exactly what song. I'm just not really a Slipknot fan. What? Everybody. Made up breakdown. Yeah, I just noticed that this live stream has been going on for almost an hour and a half. I don't want to have no reasons for me to come back on, so I'm going to go for now. I might come back on later tonight. I might not. If not, I'll definitely be on tomorrow at some point. And if something comes up, I'm sorry. The plan is to go on tomorrow, but I'll definitely be on the moment I get my new guitar, because I can't wait to open that up. And I can wait to show you guys. Like, it's the first I've had of that color, too. It's like a burnt orange, almost. But yeah, I hope that you guys learned something about a possible amplifier you can get for $2,000 or less, a couple of pedals. I'll go over it right now. I didn't go over any noise gate pedals, but I can name on one hand which ones you should look at. Cock blocker, noise gate, the SMG cock blocker, the Elysium Audio lock and key, whatever it's called, the one with the key on it, the Fortin Zool. Bent finger. How can I play guitar with no bending fingers? The Rev G8 and the TC Electronics Sentry. Those are the 5 noise gates I'm going to recommend for right now, because I don't want to go back to my computer and search them all up. But yeah, those are the 5 I'm going to recommend. I recommended what amps and pedals I would get, and you gave me some suggestions to look at too, like the Swollen Pickle. Like, yeah, I definitely want to get one of those at some point. Like, my mind has the dirtiest thought of a swollen pickle, because I don't want to say it on a live stream or anything. Even though I probably could, but the name is just so funny. Like the Shroop Fuzz or the Scranton Screamer, the Big Muff. Oh yeah, I forgot it, Fuzz. The dirty pickle. That was the one I knew, the dirty pickle. But anyways, I rambled on enough. So, everybody, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep making marvelous metal. Thanks for watching. See you later, possibly. I always do this. I want to exit. There we go. I pulled up the keyboard and I couldn't get it away. Alright. Later, man.